fire. Oh, LS Nasty.
Quick merch plug to start off today's video. Petty John is here. Listen, if you guys don't go to lsnasty.com, you live under a rock or you look like a rock. So go to lsnasty.com and get you some merchandise. We got some brand new badass stuff on the website. Look at this. Pow. Nasty Racing tumblers. Absolutely sick logo. You guys need that. We got a new Nasty Racing shirt up there. David, open the shirt up for the people. Look at that. Boom. LS Nasty. Down the spine. Hell yeah. And then you got to go with a classic. This thing right here. All-time best-selling shirt, LS Nasty. If you know, then you know. lsnasty.com. First link in the description below. Every dollar you spend gets you entered to win my Trailblazer. 650 horsepower, leather seat having, nitrous fed, beadlock wearing. Trailblazer can be yours. lsnasty.com. We got less than 2 weeks left. Get entered to win. We are back with another video. We're not talking about the big block truck today, but we are talking about the Red Lobster. We got the car owner right here. Car owner, what do you think? What do you got to say? Look, he's the car owner of the Bad Apple, too. He's wearing a Bad Apple shirt.
Kind of disappointed that we're not running my car this week, but we had a good outing in Darlington. It's that damn Logan Paul.
All right, guys, so we are doing a little bit of work here to the Red Lobster. For those of you guys that don't know what the deal is with this car, we got this thing turnkey, smoking deal, bad to the bone. It is a small block Ford powered Mustang. And as you guys know, we are big LS guys here, but we're also big small block Ford guys here. This thing right here, it's a nice unit. It's got a bunch of really nice stuff. Needs a little bit of love. It's a little bit leaky and needs a little bit more power, but parts wise, this thing is decked out head to toe, front to back with just some of the baddest parts that money can buy, and the setup on it is sick. But it seems like there's a lot going on. You look at some stuff like this and routing it and everything. I mean, everyone does stuff differently. Everyone has their own method to their madness. For me, I'm all about simplicity. I want to keep it as simple and redundant as possible. Not saying that this isn't, but we're going to go through and clean some stuff up, see if we can neaten it up in the engine bay, make some improvements where we think we can allow the car to go a little bit faster, and then hopefully go out there and just start cracking some ass at the track. What do you guys say to everybody out there? I'll steal all glass.
Night.
So, what we're doing today is we're pulling the turbo off. You guys know we are big forced inductions fam here. We stay rocking the FIS turbos. We got one Hartz turbo because that thing is an absolute unit. It's just the largest one that you can buy. But everything else, we run the FIS stuff. This right here needs to say class legal for all steel, all glass. So this car and the Bad Apple both are getting FIS 88s on them. The Bad Apple had a 98 millimeter turbo on there. This right here has a precision 88, but we just feel like this thing is out of gas, and the FIS turbos I feel like are a definite advantage. This is just off the data we have, off of working with them. I just think, me personally, if I choose a turbo, I'm going with FIS all day. The forced induction stuff's badass. The Colorado has the sister company of the FIS stuff, which is the TDI turbos, which we've run on a number of builds. I got 2 TDI turbos on this thing right here, so you can see them hiding in the grill. Those are TDI, FIS, kind of hybrid turbos. It's a mix between both those companies that Jose's got, and those are bad to the bone. The Colorado over there, which you guys can see, I don't know if you got, oh, we could peek a little bit of a turbo. Brandon, you're running, bro. There's a turbo back there. That is a TDI 94 as well. So, yeah, big TDI FIS guys around here. We're going to pull the turbo off. There are some things that we have to address. This wastegate here has a dump tube on it. When we got it, it was clocked up, and as you can see, this right here, very dangerous. Oil feed line goes to the filter here. Got a nice Clearview filter up front. This is your oil feed. Is that in? That's out. So this is going from the filter to the motor. So this is high pressure, and as you can see, it is smoked. Not good. Very close to a bad day. Luckily, we caught it early. We were able to reposition the wastegate dump, but this line needs to be remade. There's a couple fittings on here that are leaky. It's got a leak somewhere in the CO2 system. So I like to make sure the CO2 systems have no leaks in there. You cut the bottle on. If you forget to turn it off and you leave it on, you don't have to worry you're not going to leak the bottle down. This thing right here, it's got a slow leak somewhere. So we've been very adamant on making sure we turn off the CO2 after every single pass. What else? I think this car had a 118 on it at one point from pictures I've seen. This car, it's a badass car. It's been raced a bunch. Yeah, this thing was a Canadian missile up there. I'm trying to think of what else we got to do. Just like the typical neaten up, tidy up wherever we can. Some improvements. It leaks a little bit of oil out of the top of this valve cover here, so we need to take this burn down tube off and see why it's doing that. Also, Motion Raceworks and Frankenstein both came out with like a new version of these that have a quick release. So I think we're going to be swapping those out, because every time you're making a pass, you know, taking this off and putting it on, I think that's where we might have knocked one of the injector clips off. You know, taking these burn down tubes on and off. Methanol car, anytime you run it, you have to vacuum out the crankcase, help get moisture out of it, and help cool it down. That's, you know, you'll notice in between rounds, vacuum on it every single time. You hear the vacuum going, super annoying, but you got to do it.
Steering also.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We need to take all the bolts out of the steering rack, put all new hardware in there with lock washers, because they keep coming loose. So I'd say a small list, but a good one. Good improvements. So we got main man BJ here, turbo expert. How many years you been racing turbo cars?
Since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, son.
So we're going to pull this turbo off, get it in a box, and get it shipped out. It was a quick seller here. It's a badass turbo. Some people like the precision stuff, but for me, it's a badass unit. Guys go really fast with it, but we're just more comfortable with FIS stuff. So I guess we'll get to work.
So we decided to go NA on the Red Lobster.
Yep. Dude, Red Lobster, big NA guy. Got the turbo off. Turbo comes off pretty good. A lot of stuff going on up there, but they have a nice mount.
I just didn't want to have to take it off again.
The one back here just for safety. Nice mount up front. Maven mount. Drain mount, as you can see right here. So the turbo sits on that. But being that it's all crammed in there, it is... take the front cover out and the center section together, and then you just take the hot side out. But now we got some room to work on stuff. Like I said, I like these lines here, but there's definitely a leak somewhere in the CO2 lines, and there's a lot going everywhere.
Remake them in push lock.
Yeah, I mean, this is better than the push lock though, because the push lock is plastic, but there's just, if we could find the leak, it'd be good. Also, if you do have a failure at the track, these are all crimped on exact to fit. You're done.
Yeah.
No one's going to have this exact line.
We keep about 10 feet of the push lock.
Yeah, so you could burn a push lock one up, which you got to think, we run them on the Sheep, we run them on the Cow, we run them on the Vet, we run them on the street car stuff, on the race car stuff. Don't really have too many issues.
I mean, it has to be like sitting on the exhaust for it to melt.
Yeah, it's got to be like negligent.
Yeah.
And then you're melting it. So we'll probably change this around. But everything else seems to be good. We do need to change a spring in the oil pump. The oil pumps, they have like a set screw, and you could crank the pressure up. They have a low pressure and a high pressure spring. Most of the stuff that we're doing, we build our motors with large clearances, run a lot of oil pressure, which is good. So we run a high pressure spring with a adjuster back pretty far out. This one, it must have a low pressure spring in there because it was only making like 50, 60 pounds of oil pressure at idle, which isn't terrible. Fresh oil first startup, cold, it'd make like 75. As soon as the oil got warm, it'd go down to like 65. Make a few passes, down to like 60. So you take that spring out, put the high pressure spring in there, back it out, really set your oil pressure, and then I think you'll be good. But overall, I mean, it's really nice. It's got, I mean, if you just go off of parts, right?
JGS wastegates and blow-off valves. 2
JGS wastegates, 2 blow-off valves. It's got this badass dry sump oil tank.
With a heater on it, too.
With a heater on it. Covered in oil, smokes like crazy. Definitely higher fire hazard. We're not going to use that right now. Clearview oil filter. It's got like $100 fuel cap. I mean, you got to factor that in. It's got a Rage dual spur gear fuel pump, which is badass. Multi-stage dry sump oil pump. And then it's got like a front drive on the motor. It's got a very nice fabricated oil pan on it. I mean, this thing is badass car. I mean, it really is. It's a super sick ride. And like I said, just a little bit of love. So we're getting this lifted over here, finish install hopefully on it tonight. We'll be able to get that up there. Got a bunch of stuff from Brown & Miller coming in. So these lines here, we can remake. And then like they have a bunch of different fittings. So like this one here, as you guys can see, it's like a long sweeping curve. They have like some more tight radius 90s. And they have where that it's got this, I think that's a female, or it's a male fitting. So it's a male to male, where they have it where the fitting will be male by itself, so you reduce it to give it more clearance. Stuff like that, when you really get into cleaning up the engine bay, like you're removing a whole fitting, it just looks cleaner, it's easier to work on. We'll clean it up, we'll go through and do it. And like I said, we'll probably, they do hardline versions of this, which I'd say is a little bit, I don't know. You get in the same boat if you put hardline on there and you have a failure. No one's going to have the hardline you need. So I think it's a little bit better to probably just do the soft line with the push lock fittings, get some good soft line, and then not have any issues with it. Or if you do have an issue, you have everything you need to fix it. So the Red Lobster got a quick turbo swap. We're waiting on the turbo to come in. We got one of the 288s. We're going to run the Bad Apple at the all steel all glass shootout up at Peso's race. $20,000 shootout. 88 millimeter. It's got to have 2 seats. This one here, it's got 1 seat, but we can put the other seat in there. That one's got 2 seats, and it's got the back seats, so it is like full interior, all steel, all glass. They do allow a bumper, a hood, and a deck lid. This one's got a bumper, a hood, and a deck lid. That car's just got a bumper and a hood. Factory deck lid, factory rear bumper, factory doors, all steel, all glass, no optic armor.
Roll up and down windows.
Roll up and down windows. So it's pretty nice. So yeah, I mean, this thing's sick though. I mean, it's a badass car. Just needs a little bit of rerouting, and I will enjoy that because especially with the crimp-on fittings and everything we got here, it's like super easy. You just point, run it, and then go. So we'll get everything all tidied up. Like stuff like this, where like you'd run this line like down zip tied to the K member and see how it goes out over there. You'd have like where it sweeps up. If it's going to go by anything that's hot, you put heat sleeve on it. Just a little bit of love. So not talking shit by any means. Don't want anyone to think we're talking shit. And no, we're not taking a car apart and ruining it and we're gonna take it down to a roller, not mess with it. No, it's just like we'll do a turbo swap, address a few issues, back to the track we go. So this thing's bad to the bone. Anything else, car owner? What do you think?
Ready to see what it does with the new turbo.
Yeah. FIS to the front. How many cars you own now?
Too damn many. My bank account's about to start going backwards.
Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Like always, comment, like, subscribe. Go down to lstats.com and check out all of our new merchandise. Go follow Adam at Midnight Fabrication. Look at him over there. Look at him just fabricating. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. We'll see you guys in tomorrow's upload.